Out of the big time head coaches that's front and center right now, fighting for college football.
College parties during the pandemic, spreading fear and possibly the virus.
We want to get football in colleges. These are young, strong people.
But a couple months ago, no one can find y'all for the Black Lives Matter movement.
Coach O, I spoke with him. He's some coach.
Football is back. They are returning the weekend of October 23rd.
Big Ten is using antigen testing, and it isn't safe. NFL is using PCR testing, which is 99.7% accurate.
People stored Normandy. I took some grandchildren over there. They knew there was going to be casting. They knew there were going to be risks.
So the Big Ten has decided to reverse course. The season will in fact be played middle of pandemic be damned. Penn State reported 458 new cases. After an outbreak, every single Michigan State student on campus was asked to quarantine. University of Wisconsin, just 1 week into the school year, paused in-person classes because of positive cases on campus. The University of Maryland, just in their athletic department, solely athletic department, reported 46 cases. They actually paused workouts for all sports, but now join the conference in resuming football activities. And, of course,
these are young, strong people. They won't have a big problem with the China virus.
Trump lies, but we all know this. Young and strong are not preventions from contracting and suffering the ramifications of the novel coronavirus, even as we were warned.
We will have coronavirus in the fall. I am convinced of that. Things will get worse than they are right now.
There was pressure directly from the president for schools to continue in the wake of...
This is more deadly. This is 5 per... this is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%, so this is deadly stuff. I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Something he knew was terrible, but doesn't care about the sacrifice. Initially, the Big Ten Conference voted 11-3 in favor of not playing, with only Iowa, Ohio State, and Nebraska voting for. Now it's changed. But what's the Big Ten's plan? With a mountain of daily antigen testing only for Big Ten football teams. Rapid tests for football players, but apparently not for the elderly in all Big Ten campuses, or for local school children and teachers, or for students paying for their education amid the outbreaks. Of course, after today's announcement, Trump lauded the decision. He could not be happier because, as Dave Zirin put it, it is all about one thing: re-election. Trump has to sell the illusion that things are back to something near normal. You can go to your salon, you can get a beer, you can watch football. Well, guess what? He just won college football fans who were swing voters. It was just 2 weeks ago that Trump, desperate to win votes in Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, told the conference to play football. Originally, the league stood its ground. Rutgers president Jonathan Holloway aptly called it cheap politics. But wouldn't you know, the university presidents ended up following right along, giving Trump exactly what he wanted. Furthermore, the man who despises politics and sports dialed the Big Ten commissioner directly to push for football to be played. Mike Florio tweeted this likely comes with a potential agreement from politicians on Capitol Hill that removes schools from player liability. The conference announced if a team positivity rate exceeds 5% on a 7-day rolling average, practices and competition must stop for a week. Plus, if an athlete tests positive, he'll sit for 21 days and undergo comprehensive cardiac testing, including an MRI that could detect inflammation of the heart. To do this, each school will designate a chief infection officer to oversee the testing data. Keep an eye on who that person is. Now that schools presumably will be getting the bulk of their TV money this fall, what they and the 7-digit salary coaches will do to support the local communities that rely so heavily on football weekend income that has completely dried up. Dave Zirin put it perfectly. No 100,000 fans, no packed hotels, no bottles of water sold at the side of the road, nothing for the towns, just a TV revenue money grab for the schools, a massive health risk for the unpaid labor, and a horrible reflection of higher education.
Money, 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 money.